Hey, hi, hello. Welcome to Diana Emerson. Today we are listening to The Killer Confession. This is Monsters.
In emergency, actually on the Belmar Bridge, right after heading south in the middle of the bridge, there's a car that's abandoned. It's off the side of the road, but the Belmar Bridge being the 35 bridge? Yeah, the 35 bridge would be going from north going south. It's the Belmar. Into Belmar, yeah. Hey, did you pass the midpoint? Because up to the midpoint is Neptune, and after the midpoint is Belmar. Neptune actually. Technically, it was after. It looked like it was more on the Neptune side. So what kind of car is it? Kind of looks like an old beat up, light tan colored, like sedan. And what was your name, sir? It's okay. It's Charlie Vietnam. And this is your cell number? Yeah, I'm driving Uber and Lyft tonight, so I just figured I'd give a call. Like, it's kind of hard to see. I think if you're coming the other way. And was there anybody inside the vehicle? I looked now. Okay, unless they were sleeping. I couldn't see them by their head being up. Nobody was like in it. Sorry. Okay?
On December 3rd, 2016, an abandoned 1994 silver Oldsmobile 88 was found at about 2:45 a.m. on the side of the road at the highest point of the Route 35 bridge over the Shark River in Neptune Township, New Jersey. The river marks the border between Neptune Township and Belmar near the Atlantic coast. There's also Neptune City, which borders Neptune Township. Some reports say the car was found in Neptune. They don't differentiate between the two. And some say it was found in Belmar. But the 911 caller said the car was on the Neptune side. The car was in working order and the keys were in the ignition. Authorities found the car's registered owner, but when they went to their house, there was no answer. They found the front door unlocked, so they went inside for a welfare check. Wrap yourself in the well. That's your C3! Hello? Hello? That's your C3! Hello? That's your C3! Hello? Let's check down here first. Those are the keys right there. Hello? The police department, hello? Anybody home? Announce yourself, please. Hello? Hello? Anybody home? Police department? Anybody here? Nothing so far. Hello? Police department? That door's locked. That's not good. Hello? That door's locked. That one locked door. Police department? Okay, we're checking it out. The resident is Mike Stern. I'm not sure who else you're looking for as far as uncle goes. I'm trying to locate Mike. The house was owned by Michael Stern, and the car was registered to his mother at the same address. He had a 19-year-old daughter named Sarah, but none of them were at the house. Sarah's dog, Buddy, was in a crate in the house, and Sarah's friend said that she loved her dog and would never just leave him. At that point, authorities needed to find out where the Stern family was and why one of their cars was left abandoned on the bridge. This is Monsters. When authorities in the area around Neptune City learned the abandoned car in working condition with the keys in the ignition parked on a bridge, their first thought was that somebody may have jumped. They found out pretty quickly that Michael Stern was in Florida, but they still weren't sure where his mother or Sarah was. It turned out that Sarah's mother, Carla Stern, died of cancer in 2013. They also learned that the last person to see Sarah was a longtime friend named Liam McAtasney. They went to the known address of Liam, which was his mother's house, but he didn't live there anymore. They spoke to his mother, Megan McAtasney, who said that Liam and Sarah were really good friends and had known each other since they were 6 years old.
How long have you known Sarah? Yeah. I was actually going to school for 7th grade, so we went to CCD together. We're at the beach. Okay. That's where I first met her. And what's the extent of your relationship? I would say we're pretty close friends. More over the summer than during the winter, but we're still pretty close. She actually, I'm always driving around the beach. She's a bad surfer, so it's hard for beach every day over the summer. You go and ride it? Yeah. That's what she is. Yeah. What beach? Anywhere. All over the place. Yeah, same thing with her. Yeah. She'd be all over the place. Was she ever your girlfriend? No.
Liam explained during his first interview with investigators that he had been homeschooled, but he met Sarah at Sunday school when he was in first grade. The two had never had a romantic relationship, and Sarah would be described by some as a tomboy. While police were at Megan's house, she called Sarah but got a voicemail. She then called Liam and told him the police were on their way over. He lived only a block away and arrived at his house at about 4 a.m.
Liam, Liam? You have a second? Can I come and talk to you real quick? No problem. Is Sarah here by chance? No. When was the last time you talked to her? We got there today. What time? Before I went to work. So it was earlier today? Yeah. When was the last time you had any kind of contact at all with her? Since you went, if you don't mind. I mean, we went to get food today. When you went to work at what time? 4:30. Okay, so you haven't talked to her since 4:30? Do you have a cell phone you can reach out to her on? I actually haven't been able to find my cell phone. Keep looking for your cell phone, man, because we're trying to find Sarah. What was her mindset last time we talked to her? I just know she's been trying to get away. And Tom was just going to Canada. Trying to get away, are you okay? Canada, she's been real depressed lately. Her dad is crazy.
No barking.
With that information, they were left with only Sarah to locate. Sarah Stern was born on March 24, 1997, and grew up in the Neptune area and was an only child to Michael and Carla Stern. She went to Neptune High School and had a large group of friends, including Liam McAtasney and another friend named Preston Taylor. She had never known to date and focused her energy on sports when she was young and that part when she got into high school. Michael worked in maintenance and construction, and Carla owned a bookstore in town. Carla had lost her battle with cancer while Sarah was still in high school, and people said that she and Michael had a very close relationship. Of course, every parent has arguments with their teenage child, but Liam wanted authorities to believe that Sarah's relationship with her father was not as good as other people believed. In the early morning hours of December 3rd, while police were questioning him, Liam took the opportunity to The officer that Sarah had been having problems with her father and was talking about going to Canada. Investigators returned to Liam's mother's house the next day to get more information.
I went to work, got home from work, got drunk with my buddy, and then I had a knock on the door at 4 o'clock because yeah, the thing I wanted to do, we went to Taco Bell. I did actually. It wasn't until I went to work that I realized I didn't have
Oh well. Okay. Like I said, it's going to take time, and I'll be able to go into a place and have no dogs barking. So bear with me. That's why my lighting, the microphone, all of this. I do have a microphone, but when I attached it, it was just too loud. Okay, so meanwhile,
I know when I got to her house at 1 or 2 o'clock, she was just wearing a red t-shirt and black pair of black running shorts or something. What do you think she put on the designer? Yeah, she went up and got dressed before we went to Taco Bell.
While they were there, he reinforced the idea that Sarah had some mental health issues and had problems with her father.
Give me what's going on with her? Like, how's she been acting lately? The same? Different?
No.
Liam, you've known her since first grade, you said.
Yeah.
Has she been different than normal lately?
Well,
and for how long?
In the past, she has had a tendency to have self-destructive, suicidal behavior. I actually know that.
How long ago?
Years ago.
And what was it that she would be self-destructive and suicidal?
Sorry. It was over something her dad did. I'm not too sure because it was, I think it was my freshman year, sophomore year of high school. Mm-hmm. I'm in my second year of college right now. But I remember being with my girlfriend. She was completely obsessed with my girlfriend. And something happened with her dad and my girlfriend had to leave to go take care of her. So she was saying, you don't come here right now, I'm going to kill myself.
So she's made comments like that?
Yeah.
Do you know if she's ever done anything like maybe like cutting, anything like physical that she actually did harm herself?
I have no memory of her actually hurting herself.
While he was talking to the investigators, this was the first time that Liam told them that Sarah had broken her house key and gotten into an argument with her father over the phone. He told them the same story again the first time he was brought in for an interview.
Do you know her family?
Yeah, I know she's her family.
You know her dad?
Mm-hmm.
What's your relationship like with her dad?
Not good.
When you say not good, what do you mean?
I can't say that anything's ever gotten violent, but I know that there's a lot of fighting all the time.
Please check it.
Fighting between her and father. Anything. I was with her a week ago, and she broke the key to her house, and her dad called her. She had her on speaker yelling at her, couldn't believe that she did it, right? And then she hangs up the phone, and he calls her right back again, and has the same exact conversation like they didn't do. They did that 3 or 4 times right in front of me, and the dad just had no recollection that they had already had that argument before. And I was just sitting there like, Sarah, if he's calling you again, he's calling you to argue with you. I don't know, like, you don't have to let him do that to you. You can just not answer the phone, because there's nothing you can say that you haven't already said to him.
So she broke her house key?
Yeah. She bent it.
And how did he find out that happened?
She told him that I guess she texted him or something.
Liam seems to be extremely cooperative with investigators. He answered all of their questions and gave them a complete timeline of where Sarah was up until he left her house to go to work. He said that they had left in her car sometime between 1 and 2 o'clock that afternoon and went to Taco Bell. There's surveillance video of them going through the drive-thru at 2:20 p.m. A few hours later, he left her house to go to work. His car can be seen on a neighbor's surveillance camera leaving the Stern house that day. Of course, he continued to push the narrative that Sarah was having problems with her father, depressed, and wanted to get away. He also told investigators that she had been suicidal years prior. A search began to locate Sarah. Authorities had divers in the frigid water looking for a body, and volunteers walked to the coastline. The bridge was not extremely high above the Shark River, and the river wasn't deep, but the current rushed out into the Atlantic Ocean. It seemed that Liam had thought about that and actually brought the subject up during his first interview.
One thing I want to talk to you guys about was if she did jump off the bridge, what are the odds that she's not somewhere all the way out in the ocean by now? And did she tell you she was going to jump off the bridge? No. If she had told me that she was going to jump off the bridge, there would have been no way that I could have gone to work that night. I went to work and I had one of the best nights of my life. I made a bunch of money, and all my tables were good, and I had a great time. And definitely, I would not have been able to do that if I knew something.
To any good investigator, this would be suspicious. It's very common for killers to insert themselves into an investigation in an effort to try to get bits of information. Details about the case that might help them cover their tracks, and details about how likely it is that evidence may be recovered. It's noticeable to me that the investigators never actually answered his question. I don't know if any suspicion was on Liam at this point in the investigation, but I don't think anything had been ruled out. The search in the water didn't turn up any remains, and though family and friends would organize multiple searches, no sign of Sarah has ever been found. Investigators found 2 surveillance cameras that pointed to the area around where Sarah's car had been abandoned, but it turned out that neither of them had been working. Sarah's neighbors did have a surveillance camera that caught both Sarah and Liam coming and going throughout the day on December 2nd. It looks as though Liam is leaving in the afternoon to go to work, just like he had told investigators. Later that night, at about 11:45 p.m., Sarah's car can be seen on that surveillance camera leaving the house, and it never returns. On December 6th, investigators brought Liam in for an official interview.
Who do you live with, Liam? I live with my roommate, Preston Taylor. Preston Taylor. Mm-hmm. He's from the also? Yeah. Yeah, we all went to high school together. Okay. Yeah. And where are you working at? Brennan Steakhouse, Neptune City. I also work at Free Willy. It's a Christmas tree place in the mall. What's it called? Free Willy? Free Willy.
Liam McAtasney was born on June 29, 1997 in Neptune City, New Jersey. He has an identical twin brother named Seamus, and he also has a sister. His parents, Quinn and Megan McAtasney, separated at some point, but their marital status isn't clear. Liam was homeschooled until the 7th grade when he began attending school with Sarah, who he had been friends with for some time already. It was there that he also became friends with Preston Taylor, and the two would become close.
No.
After he graduated high school,
No.
he began attending Oakdale Community College.
Said no.
I'm in second year of college, so yeah.
You're gonna have me get up, huh? Huh? You're testing me, aren't you? Okay?
Well, that's not going to happen. It seemed that Liam had recently moved out of his house and began sharing a place with Preston. That house was literally a block over, and the two properties' backyards butted against each other. During the interview, investigators asked Liam a little more about Sarah's life. The first year out of high school, Sarah also took classes at Brookdale.
She went to Brookdale last semester, and she just didn't even sign for classes. I mean, not last semester. Yeah. Last year, she did a whole year of school. And this year, she hasn't even registered for classes. In a while. Canada, I guess. She's just been saying she needs to get away from Canada.
Liam pretty quickly turns the focus of the interview to Sarah having problems with her father and wanting to get away. By now, these statements contradict what everyone else has said about Sarah. Her friends and family said that she was a happy-go-lucky girl and wouldn't hurt herself. They were also adamant that she wouldn't take off without telling anyone, and she definitely wouldn't have just left her dog Buddy. One of her best friends, Carly Draper, told investigators that Sarah had made plans to hang out with her the evening of the 3rd, making them question her desire to take her own life even more. Obviously, this made investigators question why Liam was telling them this.
I know that when her mom died, she had money that was supposed to go to her, and her dad took that from her. That's kind of been the big thing over the years, so she's always said the dad took money from her, dad took money from her. She definitely has some trust issues because over the past few weeks, she's been just packaging things up in containers and moving them to other people's houses. I actually have some containers in my basement right now. I know that there were containers in Draper's. I know there were containers in the Reynolds house. How many containers are in your house? I believe there's 3 in my basement, 3 or 4. What kind of containers? They're just big gray containers. Bins? Yeah, big containers, yeah. And then there's one. What are you looking at? I haven't looked at them, but I can tell you that one of them was just a plastic. There was a clear one, red top on it, and the whole inside of it was just VHS tapes. I don't know why she would package up. I mean, the container was this big, just full of VHS. I don't know why anyone would need a VHS tape. Where are they in your house? They're just in my basement. Why did she do this? Because she didn't want her dad to have them.
This is where the subject of Sarah's inheritance came into the picture. It will become an important aspect of the case. It seemed that Sarah had inherited money from her mother and that she kept it in cash. She had some cash in a safe and some other cash in a safety deposit box at the bank. Liam told the investigators about the cash that Sarah had found in her house.
She said that it must have belonged to her mother, but she thought that her mom left it for her in the house. So if her dad were to take her money, she would sell it on for her by her mom. That's short. Because she would tell him, she said it could be, she told me the range. She said it could be from 20 grand to 100 grand. She wasn't sure. She wasn't sure how much money she got. Yeah. Does that make sense to you? That you would be sure how much money? Well, she told me the condition of the money was pretty bad. Like it was all stuck together. All of his old bills. So that could have been a reason for not knowing. I know some of it was destroyed or water damage or whatever could have happened over the years. She told you she didn't know how much it was. Yeah.
So Liam was under the impression that Sarah may have had up to $100,000 in cash. This is easily an amount of money that someone might kill over. Of course, Liam continued to push the narrative that Sarah was hiding it from her father. He had previously said that she had trust issues and had been boxing up her belongings and storing them at other people's houses. That was true, but the reasoning behind it was unclear. In the days before her disappearance, Sarah had brought plastic totes and boxes to various people's houses, including Liam's. He had a few of those containers in his basement. Liam told investigators that Michael Stern owned another house nearby in Avant-by-the-Sea. But he was a hoarder and was too full of stuff to live in. The house they were living in was her grandmother's. Then he told a story about how angry and violent Michael could be.
One of the family members came over and trimmed the bush, the walkway, up the stairs to make it easier for the grandma. And this is a direct quote. The dad said, I'll crush their skulls in and burn their houses down if they do that again. Like, he was literally threatening to kill them over a bush. That might have been the night, actually, that she Snapchatted me and was saying, the day I was asking if he hurt her or anything like that, because she was hysterical at night. And I'm not the only one that knows this. Her other family members, I know Shirley knows this. I know. You don't know whose family members that threw in the bush? I have no idea. She told me this? Yeah. She told me this, and we actually even spoke about it in front of Shirley and Shirley's daughter. What was it? What would cause they left? He would smash their skulls in and burn their houses down.
It's clear that Liam is trying to lead investigators to the idea that Sarah either committed suicide by jumping off the bridge, or that she took off to Canada because her father is such a horrible, violent man. Investigators obviously want to know more details about whether or not Michael had been violent with his daughter.
Did she tell you that he heard about that? Said that he didn't. He didn't? Yeah, because believe me, I've done nothing but just try to find out if there was any physical violence between her and her father. I've always been trying to get that out of her, and she's never told me. What did she say about her dad's girlfriend?
No, Lulu, that's Eddie.
She said nothing but good things about the girlfriend.
It doesn't sound like Liam is willing to go so far as to claim Michael was ever physically abusive to Sarah, but he does do a good job of making it sound like the problems between them have been going on for quite some time and that he's been the caring friend who's been looking out for her. It seemed as though investigators might have believed that Liam was covering for Sarah and wanted to know if she really did go to Canada. It's not unusual for a good friend to keep a secret like that.
Is she in Canada? I can honestly tell you that. I'm one of her closest friends, and I have no idea why she wouldn't tell me anything before she left. Like the last time I said goodbye to her, it was just like at the end of the day, like, see you later, I gotta go to work. Nothing. She didn't say anything. But that week, many of her relatives had been over the house, and I think her name was Michelle, or I don't know, started with the name, but I just remember hearing Sarah say, this might be the last time I see you because I might be in Canada by the next time. I don't know, something along those lines. What did she say? It started with an M. It might be Michelle, it might be Michaela. Who was that? It's her Aunt Shirley's daughter. Aunt Shirley's daughter? Yeah, that's what I know.
Liam claims that she had told a family member that she might not see her again because she's going to Canada, and I can't find any information that investigators confirmed that. But it's possible she expressed her desire to go to Canada to this person. Liam is likely exaggerating what Sarah said to build on the idea that she ran off to escape her father. After a few hours, the investigators were notified that both Liam's mother and father had hired lawyers for him, and they stopped the interview. But that didn't mean they didn't still have questions, a lot of them. Though the initial idea that Sarah had jumped from the bridge made sense, the more information they got from various people, the more it just didn't seem like what had happened. It turned out that there was a second 911 call on the morning of December 3rd, where a man reported the abandoned car on the Route 35 bridge, and this person said he saw a man near the car. That definitely gave authorities pause to write this disappearance off as a suicide. Since they weren't able to question Liam anymore, investigators decided that they would talk to Preston Taylor. He was close to Liam and they lived together, so they hoped to get some clarification from him. Unfortunately, nothing that Preston said made any sense.
Well, next thing I know, 4 in the morning, the police came out of the door. They asked me no questions. Well, did you get up from here in the door now? I didn't even hear it. He just came in and woke me up like 5 minutes after everyone left. What do you think? What do you do? Police upstairs. I don't know what. That's why we got the news. So you're fast asleep at this point? Yeah. And he comes into your room? Yeah. How does he wake you up? He just opened the door and go around. Okay. And you were looking at him like, what are you doing? Yeah. What? And he knows the police were there, asking questions about Sarah. Yeah. And as you said, like, why would come here? Like, what was, tell us about the conversation. But was like, what do you mean? It's like, I don't know.
Hello. Hi. When he got up, he was cheerful. And then when I mentioned that, I said, oh, Jackie, she wanted to come over. He said she was over here. I said she was here. She just stopped by after she picked up her car. She wanted to talk to you. He says, but I was awake. I was awake all the time. I said, no, I came downstairs and I knocked on the door. Man, he dropped that thermos that he has, and all the dogs pissed in there right where they were at. Okay?
Wait, what?
Yeah, all the dogs pissed right where they were at.
Why?
Eric dropped his thermos that he has the water bottle. That shit is heavy. It sounded like a bomb going off. And he dropped it and ran downstairs to get his phone. And that's when he broke up with you, I think. And I was trying to tell him she didn't stay long. She wanted to talk to you. And I told her it's best to talk to you tomorrow, give you time. So whatever, it made him mad all over again. But give it time.
Wait, this morning he was cheerful, you said?
Yeah, when he woke up and he came upstairs, to do his protein thing and to, get his water. I think he just was getting water, and I had mentioned that you came by. When I mentioned that you came by, he dropped his canister, that water jug, and it went boom. And I didn't find out that the dogs pissed where they were at till I got back in the living room. He went downstairs.
He texted me and he was like, you fucking came over yesterday? And I was like, yeah, I wanted to talk to you, but your mom said you were asleep. So
right.
I just talked with her and then I left.
Okay.
And he was like, don't ever do that again. And I was like, okay.
Okay. Oh, okay. So he's not that mad then. Well, when he dropped that thing, Appa must have been on the sofa, and so was Eddie, and they pissed right where they were. Okay, so he's not that mad then. You said he broke up with you.
He did, but I guess after you told him that, he got more upset, and then he texted me back after.
Oh, and that's when he broke up with you?
No, it was early this morning before, I'm assuming you guys were talking.
Oh, okay. So he wasn't in a bad mood, and especially if you're saying he said don't ever do that again. So he wasn't all that mad.
Oh no, he's pretty mad.
He is, yeah, it seems like, yeah, I think he is. I mean, it would take a lot of time.
He said it was worse than cheating. But then I had to remind him, I was like, do you not remember everything that you put me through and all the stuff that you did to me?
Yeah.
But I still stuck by your side?
Yeah, you told him about that girl, Gabby, because I didn't know he was seeing her for that long.
Yeah, it was for months.
Well, did you reminded him?
I did, and I was like, I know what I did was wrong. I don't remember doing it, granted, and I'm sorry, and I kept apologizing. But then I was like, but you also have to remember that you weren't perfect either.
Right.
That you had your own shit.
Yes.
And to be fair, I think it was a lot worse than what I did.
Yes. Yes.
So, and I didn't leave your side when all the shit that you were doing for months.
Behind my back.
Behind my back.
Yeah. Well, you stand your ground. Okay. I mean, you do what you think is right for you. Don't let me. I don't want to influence you either way.
Well, I told him, I was like,
I said, I tried to defend what you said. I said, well, you know what, Eric, she was drunk. Okay, people say a whole bunch of shit when they're drunk. And she probably was just telling you I should have or could have. But I couldn't understand it, but he didn't want to hear any of that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I didn't say I was going to. No. I think I said.
No, you didn't. I don't think you said you was going to. I wish or I could have. And that's why I needed to know what you said so that I could sort of confuse him. He sent it?
He sent me the audio. He sent it to me and I listened to it and it said, I think I said, I wish I remembered doing it because I don't, like I said, I don't remember.
Oh, and he mistook it in a different way as if you wanted to remember. Yeah.
So I guess that's what he was upset about.
Yeah. Miscommunication. That's what it is. So everybody gets mad at everybody. You have to, listen to the words.
And I tried to explain to him that I was triggered and I was upset earlier that night when we were out.
Yes.
Because I thought I saw Gabby for a minute. I thought it was her.
Oh.
And I got real upset.
And
I tried to explain to him that I'm still hurt about what he did with her.
Yeah.
It's not going to go away overnight, especially since he wasn't the one that told me what happened and was honest with me about what happened.
Right.
Yeah.
Well.
And so I was trying to explain to him, like, I'm still hurt too. Like,
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw that girl, it triggered me. I told him that. I was like, that was a big trigger for me. And the whole Starbucks, like all that stuff, they're all triggers for me. And he's like, well, you're gonna have to get over it at some point. And I was like, well, it's not gonna happen overnight.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what else to tell him. I apologized and I said I was sorry and I fixed it. I don't know, I told him I can get a new job. That's not a problem for me. I don't care to work with these people. Like, they're not my friends. And then my boss and Katie is the other boss. They pulled me into the office this morning. And they were like,
no.
We just want you to know. Yeah, they were like, we're not sure how much you remembered, but we just want you to know that like anything that happens outside of work stays outside of work, and it's not going to affect, your job and stuff. And I was like, okay.
Oh wow. You could have asked them, well, what happened?
Well, they told me, they were like, you were really drunk, and then apparently I asked Katie to fire me over and over again.
Oh.
And she was like, yeah, you kept asking me to fire you, and she didn't understand like why I was so upset. They said I was like getting really upset and like agitated, and they didn't understand because like
Yeah.
I don't think they realized that I blacked out at that point.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they were like, Mary was like, yeah, I'm 44 years old and I've never been kicked out of a bar before, so that was the first.
Oh. Well, at least they made it a light laughter, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
yeah.
I also passed my exam.
Oh, congratulations. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so I guess that's the bright side of this.
Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I think maybe you just need a little time. Maybe if you text him, say, I passed my exam. Well, I don't know. I don't want to say because I don't know. He gets mad. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I told him I passed my exam. He said, congratulations.
Oh, so he's talking to you then.
Yeah, he's talking to me, but I don't know, like.
Then
I don't know why.
you
He
wait.
broke up with me.
You take it and roll with it. Okay, that's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He said, this is what he said. The best I can say to you is that we are on a.
Well, we had like 5 minutes here. What do you say? He's like, dude, please were just about what? Just asking those questions.
Hmm.
That's why I've got the news. So you're fast asleep at this point?
I tend to record them. Just to let you know. Okay. Mhm.
And he tells the police are there, asking questions about Sarah. And they just say, like, why they come here, like, tell us a conversation. But, like, what do you mean? It's like, I don't know. How does he feel about them? I don't know what that was a mother. How long is he in the room? They might have been together. It's like, you guys, what happened? He left the room.
Initially, this isn't too suspicious. He's a young man who had been drinking the night before and was woken up in the middle of the night. It seems reasonable that he wouldn't be clear on all the details, but what about the next day?
When he woke you up in the morning, what, 3 o'clock in the morning? Time. 4 o'clock in the morning? Like, you go back to sleep and you wake up, and you follow up with him, like, why what's going on?
I've seen this one before.
The cops come to your house on a regular basis. This is the first time they came to your house? Yeah. Well, there was one time beforehand we were moving stuff back to the house. Okay. So Liam wakes up on Saturday and he doesn't talk about Saturday, doesn't he? The cops were just at the house a couple hours earlier, asking questions about it. He's not talking to you about it. I asked why I was there, but I really don't remember the conversation. I don't remember much out there about midnight. Going, and then first like half hour, I was like, well, so I don't drink too often.
So the police came to your house at 4 o'clock in the morning, and you're not at least curious as to what it was about? And then the next morning, Liam's best friend is missing, and he's not talking about it? If my best friend went missing, that's all I'd be talking about. Where could she be? Where could we look? Who could we call? Preston said he asked Liam about it, but doesn't remember the conversation. That's weird. Investigators had already seen some red flags with Liam. but now they were sure that something was wrong. Eventually, Preston said that Liam's mom came over and they were crying, but he still doesn't really have any information.
So you're having a conversation with all these people about Sarah, who is police at your house, or Papa Mori. She's missing. You find out that a car is found on the bridge, and now Liam is telling you that he was with her. You don't remember anything that he said to you. Is that, am I understanding that correctly? Yeah. You have no recollection at all about what he told you he did with her.
You still eating?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just finished.
Oh, okay.
Did he say that he was at her house? Did he say that they went to Lowe's? Did he say that they went to the beach? What did he say they did? What did he say?
Now, are you able to hear it? The TV?
Yeah, I can hear, but I can't really
Understand. Okay. Yeah. I need to get a new TV for upstairs.
Liam had said that he was going to discuss
Yeah.
with her, but nobody wanted to know what they did.
I mean, they're not.
Again, if your best friend is missing and you were the last
No, it
person to
shouldn't
see
be.
them, wouldn't you be talking about what you did and maybe retracing your steps? According to Preston, Liam said,
I'm
Sarah's
going to
missing
look
and I
at
was the
one
last person to
place.
see her. And then they all just shrugged and moved on. Investigators asked Preston what he thought happened.
What do you think's happened? There's some drugs. Okay, why did you jump? Just from the stories that I've heard about what goes on with her and her dad.
Now, Liam and Preston are the only two people who believe Sarah jumped off of the bridge. The two best friends who lived together. Authorities were beginning to believe that foul play was more likely than suicide. Unfortunately, they don't have any idea what actually happened, let alone any evidence that would lead them to make an arrest. They continued investigating. They went to Kearney Bank and looked in her safe deposit box. Inside, they found $25,250 in cash. The money was old and in bad shape, and it was the money she had found inside the house in Avon by the sea. It seemed that only a couple of people knew Sarah had found
Okay,
it.
honey.
Sarah's
You have a good day.
I will. Can you also see if Eric has my
so
ID?
now the question became,
Yeah.
why would someone
I'll
take
check.
their own life not long after
Yeah.
they found 25
Okay.
grand?
Thank you.
You're
Not
welcome.
that money
Bye-bye.
solves everyone's problems, but why would she lock that money in a safety deposit box if she were going to commit suicide? Or why would she take off and go to Canada and not take that money with her? It wasn't in a checking account, so it's not like she could have accessed the money via a debit card. She would have been in Canada with $25,000 in a metal box in New Jersey. It didn't add up. Anthony Curry was another person that had met Liam in high school, and the two became friends. While still in high school, Anthony started writing and making films. Liam would regularly feed his ideas for short films to Anthony, but it was one particular story that got Anthony thinking differently about his friend. Around Thanksgiving, about a week before Sarah went missing, Anthony was at Liam's house hanging out. Liam told him that he had an idea to kill Sarah, specifically that he was going to strangle her, and then throw her off the bridge with the help of a friend. Fast forward a week, and Anthony heard about Sarah's disappearance, but he didn't immediately connect it to Liam's story. He said that Liam would tell him wild stories all the time, and he just didn't put the two together. It wasn't until Liam began contacting Anthony daily, asking to meet him, that he started connecting the dots. Liam would send him messages on Snapchat, which is an app where the messages will eventually disappear. The messages said, quote, I need to tell you in person, and quote, I can't see anything on my phone. He also sent a message that said, quote, my cash is low quality, they wouldn't take it. That's all I can say. This is an important detail because the cash that Sarah had was old and in poor condition. This connects Liam to having the cash that was stolen from Sarah. In January of 2017, Anthony went to authorities about the story that Liam had told him around Thanksgiving. It was then that investigators put a hidden camera in Anthony's car and had him agree to meet with Liam. Based on what the defense will claim during the trial, it's important to note that the video records from before Anthony ever meets Liam, and there's no evidence anywhere that Anthony talked to Liam about auditioning for a role in a movie. On January 31st, the video records for almost 15 minutes while Anthony is driving to a parking lot at Bradley Beach. Liam drove himself there and then got into Anthony's car.
Good, man. What's up, everybody? How you doing? You want a cigarette? No, I'm good. I quit them shits. I was smoking the last cigarette while I was tripping. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I tripped for like 2 months straight. What were you doing? What you up to? Hide from the cops. What happened? Dude, you can't blame me for doing this, right? I gotta see the real quick, alright? You're good. No disrespect. I'll show you. No disrespect, okay? Look. Yeah, I got the FBI on my ass, dude. What are they questioning? Oh, yeah, a lot. No, what? Killing Sarah.
Liam pats Anthony down to make sure he's not wearing a wire. After that, he immediately blurts out that he killed Sarah. Anthony would later say in an interview that it was like Liam was itching to tell someone. He explained that he was questioned by law enforcement, but the case had moved up the federal level, and now he had the FBI looking at him.
They've got the FBI. So you've been laying low. Oh, yeah. And that's not even the worst part. The worst part of it is I thought I was walking out 50 grand, 100 grand in my pocket. She had one safe, and she took money out, and she only had 10 grand. And this money, I don't know if it was burnt or something. It's fucking old money. I don't even know if I can put any of it in the fucking bank. Right, but then it probably looks sketchy, right? Looks sketcy, and it'll look like it's Sarah's money, especially if it's a federal investigation. But if they're looking for the guy who has the fucking old money. Right, because it's probably like the old dollar bills and shit. It's not like the new shit. It's the $100 bills and shit. Yeah. Man, it's like it's old, man. Huh? Yeah. It's got a long way. And I didn't get a quarter of it.
This asshole is casually talking about killing a friend he had since he was 6 years old. Someone that people said was one of his best and closest friends. And he's ranting about how he wasn't able to steal enough money from her. The sheer nerve of someone to kill a friend, someone who trusted him, over money and then complain that they didn't get enough money is absolutely insane. This is exactly the person who should be in prison for the rest of their lives. He isn't a human being. In the video, he told Anthony that he hid the money in Sandy Hook and that he and Preston had gone to rob a drug dealer earlier that day. But it turned out that the guy had moved. They found his new house and were planning to rob him the next day. Despite hearing his friend confess to murder, Anthony is still the voice of reason and tells Liam that maybe they shouldn't be robbing people while the FBI were investigating them. Seems reasonable enough, but Liam thinks he's smarter than the authorities.
I had planned Sarah's situation for me to be interrogated by cops. Like, that was whole part of my plan to make me look not guilty. Like, you didn't hear that? It was all over the news. Yeah. And the worst part is, we threw off the bridge, and the body never showed up. It's probably all the way out in the ocean.
She's probably all the way out in the ocean. Man, where have we heard that before? The worst part about this video is how absolutely proud of himself Liam seems. He's so smug, and as if confessing to murder isn't enough, he describes exactly how he did it.
She goes to walk out the front door, I took her out, drag her. My biggest problem was the dog, and her dog laid there and watched as I killed her. Didn't do anything. Her fucking dog. What kind of dog? Yeah, what kind of dog is that? It's like some. Was it a beagle? It looks like a beagle, but it's like the size of a Great Dane. Nobody was there? No, nobody was there. Even her dad wasn't there. He was in Florida. Yeah, you said that. Yeah. So, I had to leave. I fucking dropped my phone at Sarah's house. My phone was at Sarah's house. Like, wait, you left your phone? Yeah, I lost it. I couldn't find it. I had to go to work. I had timed everything out so that. Why did you take your phone? You should have left it in your fucking pocket. Dude. What were you doing? Strangling someone? I couldn't find it, dude. It ended up being out in the driveway. Oh, it must have dropped everything. It must have dropped when I was crawling to get in the car. But I took her out, dragged her into the back, put her in the bathroom, and then I had to go straight to work. So Preston came over, took the body, put it in the bushes. And then I was at work. I had a full, night of work, except I left work a couple times, which looks sketchy. I look for my phone, though, which is a reasonable, thing to do. Yeah, you gotta look for your phone. Which is kind of, me losing my phone is kind of a good thing, because the cops are like, oh, he's hanging out with her, he lost his phone, he's going back and forth between his house looking for it. And then I get off work that night, go straight over, Preston and I go over to her house, take her safe, bring that over to my house before we do anything. Then we take her body out of the bushes and drag it over to her back fence, and I crawl, get into her car, and I back up. There's a security camera across the street, so I had to act like her. I watched her every time she backed out. She does the same thing. So I backed out exactly like she did and drove off in the trunk. Not put her in the passenger seat of her own car. And then Preston and I had these walkie-talkies to communicate with. We just used them again. So I was driving, and I had her buckled in the passenger seat. So she looks like she's just sleeping. She's just sitting up.
Liam planned this murder out months in advance and had enlisted Preston to help him. He killed her before he went to work and had Preston hide her body in the bushes. Liam mentions that he couldn't find his phone before he went to work, which comes up a lot in other videos. Every time he talks to law enforcement, he mentions that he lost his phone, but it doesn't ever seem to implicate him in anything, so I don't feel like it's a big part of the story. It seems that Liam lost his phone somewhere at Sarah's house, and he wants investigators to know that in case they find it there. He wants to make sure they know he lost it earlier in the day and that it doesn't make him a suspect. It helps that he lost his phone before he went to work, and other people corroborated that he was missing his phone when he got there. It's not clear when his phone was found, but I believe it was in her driveway, and, at least for a while, it may have been theorized that it fell out of his pocket when he got in his car to go to work. After Liam got off work, he and Preston took her to the bridge.
My plan was, for me, I underestimated my own strength and how much a dead body would weigh. Because it's lightweight. Yeah. I got up on top of the bridge to throw her off. My plan was I was going to throw her off, run over, jump over the divider, and get in the Preston's car. And I go up, open the door, unhook her, pull her out, start dragging her to throw her over, and then cars start coming up. I see headlights coming. I try to get her over and I can't put my leg up. The weight of her body made me fall and my leg went up. So now I'm limping, my leg's fucked up and there's 3 cars coming. So I grab her body. Dude, I had superhuman strength and I threw it in the car and I fucking picked it up and her feet were up here and her head was down there and 3 cars flew by. And I'm fucking losing my shit because that easily could have been a cop. And then the police station was right there. Yeah. And then Preston comes over the bridge,
goes around, makes a U-turn, comes up behind me. The two of us throw the body over, and then we're out. Oh, so you needed help? I needed help, yeah.
During the trial, the defense claimed that video was Liam auditioning for a role. That's what Liam's mother still believes, and at least in her case, I can understand a mother not wanting to accept that her son is a cold, emotionless killer. But as a trial defense, it's beyond ridiculous. In order for that to be true, Anthony went to the police expressing fake concern about a story Liam told him. Authorities put a hidden camera in Anthony's car, and then Anthony told Liam ahead of time to meet him in a parking lot, get into his car, and immediately begin auditioning for a role. No talking about it ahead of time, straight into character. Oh, and that character was him admitting to killing Sarah for money. It doesn't make sense. In that scenario, Anthony would have to have some motivation to frame Liam. Maybe Anthony was the killer, but he didn't live in Neptune City anymore, didn't spend any time with Sarah, and likely had no knowledge of the cash she had found. He would have had to drive there from New York, kill her and dump her body, then steal her money and bury 2 safes in the area before driving back to New York. No. The defense probably meant that this wasn't an audition that was set up ahead of time, and Liam just acted in an attempt to impress his friend who was a filmmaker. So he made up a story, and then Preston confessed to participating in that made-up story. There's a buried safe that perfectly matches what Liam said in his made-up story. Or maybe Preston killed Sarah and is framing Liam. But then how did Liam make up a story that perfectly matched the murder that someone else committed? And Preston would have only known about the money Sarah had found if Liam had told him. How could Liam have made up a story claiming to have gotten the exact same amount of money that was actually stolen? It doesn't make sense. What happened to Sarah is either a convoluted conspiracy theory about Liam being framed for her murder, or he killed her and confessed on hidden camera. Which is more likely? The next day, police arrested Liam and Preston. Liam refused to talk to the police, but Preston spilled everything.
You gotta lay it out for us as to why it happened, right? And why he did what he did. Money. Yeah. How much money are we talking about?
He says that she had anywhere from upwards of $150,000 left to her in cash from her mom.
Okay. Where did she get the money?
From her mom. When she passed away.
Okay.
She found this is his story. She found a box in their old house now that they keep just for storage that had a whole bunch of money. And he wanted to check his head as much as possible.
Okay. Did he tell you ahead of time that he was going to do this?
Yeah.
Right. How long do you think he planned to do this?
About a month. It wasn't too serious at first.
Okay. Do you remember the first time he told you that?
First time he told me about it, him and Sean came into Clancy's where I was working, and he just said, like, no intentions at this time, but Sarah just found a bunch of money, and that was it. And then it wasn't until about a month ago
No.
he was coming up.
No.
Okay. What did he tell you he planned on doing?
Taking her out and then find somewhere to dispose of the body.
Okay. When you say taking her out, what do you mean?
Sharing her.
Okay. And then he was going to dispose of her body. Like, did he tell you what he planned to do with her body?
No.
Preston admitted that Liam had told him about the money that Sarah had found and came up with a plan to strangle her and steal the money. He goes on to tell investigators that on December 2nd, Liam came home before he went to work and told him that he had killed Sarah. Liam asked him to go to her house, hide her body, and look for his phone. Preston looked around but couldn't find the phone, so then he dragged Sarah's body out the back door and put it in the bushes. Then he went back home and waited for Liam to get off work.
When he came home from work, he told me, okay, follow me. And we went over. He grabbed the safe, put it in my car, and then he got Sarah's body into Sarah's car, took her car, had me go meet him at the intersection of the bridge. Right. And when I got up to the bridge, he'd already put her over and jumped in my car. He jumped in your car? Yeah.
Not only did Preston confess to exactly what he and Leanne had done, but he took investigators to her house and pointed out exactly what he had done the night of December 2nd.
Dragged it over here and kind of sat out of the bushes right here. These are the bushes that you placed Sarah in? Mm-hmm. And how did you position her when you brought her out? She was laying on her side like this. Which direction was her face? Facing out. And with her feet down here and her head up here. So her head was up here and her face was facing Detective Catalana? Yeah. And what type of position was she in? Was she laying on her side? Was she laying flat? Was she laying on her stomach with her head turned? She was laying on her left side.
Preston walked the investigators through exactly how he had hidden Sarah's body, then he showed them exactly what they did with it once Liam got off work.
So, you're carrying Sarah by her legs, or her legs dragging on the ground, or are they up in the air?
I was like holding them up
Okay,
in there.
and what part of Sarah's body was laying on it?
Her torso.
Okay.
And dragged her over this fence near the safe was. Hoisted her up and over. Threw the safe over. The two of us jumped over. And I got in my vehicle and Liam got in Sarah's vehicle.
Okay. And when you say you hoisted Sarah over, can you just explain how you did that and what happened when you hoisted her over this fence?
Liam jumped over the fence first. I lifted her up. He grabbed her by the torso from the other side of the fence and pulled her over as I lifted her legs up. So,
did Liam maintain control of her once she was over the fence, or did she drop onto the ground?
he kept hold of her.
Okay. Now, you said you threw the safe, so you picked the safe up from this side and threw it over onto the other side?
Yeah.
And then you jumped the fence?
Yes.
Okay. Who put the safe in the car? Do you recall? If you don't remember, that's okay.
I don't recall.
Okay. At any point, did Sarah's car come any closer to where Sarah was located at this point, with Liam on the side, or how did she get from here to the car?
Liam dragged her over to the car and sat her in the passenger seat while I was putting a safe in my car.
Okay. And did you see him dragging her?
Yeah.
Okay. And did he drag her from this location right to where her car was?
Yeah.
Okay. And what happened when he got to the car? Did you help him put Sarah in the car?
I helped him keep her in while I got the door closed too.
Okay. And how was she positioned in the car?
Sitting upright.
Okay. Did she have a seatbelt on?
No.
Okay. If somebody were driving down the road and looking into that car, what would they see?
They would have seen Liam driving the car and Sarah assuming that she was asleep in the passenger seat.